It has been 772 days, but now it's time to stop the clock. Long time no see.
Well, you know, it takes me about 772 days to prepare for these questions. But although I think this was a leap year in there, so I think it's only 771.
No, I think we checked that. Anyway, your defeat in Pennsylvania raises new questions about your candidacy.
What we've done has been successful throughout. I mean, it's not like I've been winning in states that only have either black voters or Chablis drinking, limousine liberals. I mean, we've been winning in places like Idaho. We've been winning in places like Colorado. There is this selective memory about how this campaign has proceeded. There's a reason why we've won twice as many states and won more delegates and won a larger popular vote. If you look at the general election polls, we are doing better against John McCain than Senator Clinton is. We are putting states in play like Colorado and Virginia that have not been in play for a very long time.
Congressman James Clyburn, one of the top African-American politicians in this country, said this week that blacks are furious with Bill Clinton for playing the race card. Do you agree with him that there's been a deliberate effort by the former president and some Clinton supporters to make race an issue in this Democratic race?
I don't think there's been a deliberate effort. I take the president at his word that he is oftentimes.
Which one?
Well, oftentimes, I think that he's been going after me hard. He may not have intended it in a racial way. I think he just sees me as competition against his wife, and that's what husbands do, hopefully, or spouses do in
lumping you in with Jesse Jackson.
Contests. Well, I thought that was probably somewhat dismissive, after we had won that contest pretty handily. But look, I'm confident that once this primary is over, the Democratic Party will come together.
I wasn't sure whether I was even going to ask you about your former pastor, Jeremiah Wright, but he made it easy for me because he's now begun this public campaign to redeem his reputation. You didn't try to discourage him from going public. It obviously isn't helpful to your campaign to have him on the public scene right now.
Yeah, I understand. But look, he is a former pastor of mine. He is somebody who has obviously been the subject of some pretty sharp attacks over the last month, and it's understandable that somebody after an entire career of service would want to defend themselves.
In the last debate, you were asked about your relationship with William Ayers, the former 60s radical.
The fact that I know somebody, work with them, have interactions with them, doesn't mean that I'm endorsing what they say. Nobody is saying, you know what, Barack, he's got a bunch of Republican friends, or he's got a bunch of people who are considered on the religious right, who he gets along with, who he shares stories with, who he does work with. The focus is on this one individual with whom I have a relationship that is far more tangential than it is with somebody like a Tom Coburn, who I'm working with all the time and who I consider a close friend. And yet that's the relationship that gets the focus.
Tax and spending. Question. John McCain is going to go after you as another classic liberal tax and spender.
Well, I'm going to go right back at John McCain because look at his tax proposals. He just went out there and not only wants to continue some of the Bush tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans and corporations, he actually wants to extend them, and he hasn't told us really how he's going to pay for them. It is irresponsible, and the irony is he said it was irresponsible. When George Bush initiated these tax cuts in 2001, he said this is shameful. He said that it offended his conscience. He said for us to give tax breaks to the wealthy, particularly at a time of war. Well, somewhere along the line, his conscience took flight because he was looking to get nominated for the Republican as the Republican nominee.
Petraeus, as I don't have to tell you, is the architect of the troop surge, a strong advocate of our continued engagement in Iraq. If you become commander-in-chief and he says your plan to get out of Iraq is a mistake, will you replace him?
I will listen to General Petraeus, given the experience that he has accumulated over the last several years. It would be stupid of me to ignore what he has to say. But it is my job as president, it would be my job as commander-in-chief to set the mission. And what I will do is say, we have a new mission. It is my strategic assessment that we have to provide a timetable to the Iraqi government. I want you to tell me how best to execute this new assignment.
Why are you ducking another debate with Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, I'm not ducking one. We've had 21. And so, what we've said is with 2 weeks, 2 big states, we want to make sure that we're talking to as many folks as possible on the ground, taking questions from voters. We will
no debates between now and
We're not going to
Indiana.
have debates between now and Indiana.
Senator Obama, thank you so much for talking with us.
I enjoyed it.
Don't be a stranger.
I won't.